Let's talk about one of your favorite subjects, trees.
Yeah.
We're sitting right across from U.S. Bank, which when I moved in here 3 years ago had a nice green look out my windows, but now it has a nice historic building out my windows.
You win. What a lucky guy.
I know.
And there's new trees coming along.
I know. Well, those annoying birds. So it's been a controversial issue in town, not just Salem, but a lot of other cities. Portland has regular fights in the neighborhoods about street trees and things of that nature. In this incident in particular, I know the policy was that one person administratively in the city made the decision, and that's where a lot of people were upset because they didn't like that process.
Where the hell were they? Where were these supposedly informed and really caring people?
They were reading the announcements of the meetings.
No, they weren't paying any attention. They didn't take 5 seconds to figure out how this system worked, and then complained about it afterwards and have tried to blame everybody but themselves for their inaction over the years. You know what I did? I saw that. I agreed there's a problem here, and I went in. I did everything I possibly could and made happen a change in that tree ordinance that created a situation that would allow people as inactive as the guys who are screaming and yelling right now. What the hell's that? If you put up with that,
Car
because
alarm,
the trees
I know,
are out,
I know.
It's a desperate bird.
so that never happens again. Yeah, I mean, understand, I solved the problem. I'm just sorry we didn't have people who say they care about this stuff step up earlier, and they didn't. Okay?
Well, I understood that they went.
Yeah, it's classic.
They went to the
close
city
bar.
Shade Tree Commission and spoke to them prior to
They
them
didn't
making.
have the control over it. That's the problem.
Well,
we didn't have a system in
But so
place.
what was a public, if the system is that an administrator makes the decision inside City Hall, what's the process for a citizen to impact that process then?
Well, there was no system.
Where
were these people?
Well, that's what you're saying. Where were they? But I'm asking, what should they have done then?
They should have called their friend Chuck Bennett and said, Chuck, we got to fix this real quick, pal, because we got a problem here. They didn't. The problem occurred, and I had to come in behind them and fix that problem with a new ordinance that now has has a group that looks at this stuff, an appeal process in place, took it away from a single administrator and set up a process that has findings and basic fact requirements you've got to have in place, and reasons for removing trees, and a whole bunch of stuff in place. But it allows people to actually have a voice in this. What they had was just sort of a, I don't like this, I'm going to chain myself to a tree kind of reaction. That's nice, but you got to have something in place that allows you to protect these trees, and you got to have a way to appeal it. That's what I gave them.
So originally you supported and were even a champion of the establishing an urban tree commission, but that then changed when the mayor made she wanted to have it be put under what the Parks Commission.
An urban tree commission, a parks commission, who gives a rip?
Same
thing.
Same thing.
Exactly the same thing.
Sure.
You've got to have some people that have some interest in public trees to take the issue to. And I was going to lose potentially enough votes to lose the whole damn thing over urban tree commission or park board.
So it was a compromise.
It was I want this solved situation. And then I also got, and I know the guys who gripe about this stuff don't pay attention to it, also got agreement we'll have an evaluation this year on has it worked. Because if it doesn't work, we're going to do an urban tree commission. If we're not getting a feeling. But what I had, I was very lucky at that point. And I know people get all at Twitter, but I was very lucky at that point. I had Cassia, and then I was able to add Woody, and I had the people who really wrote the thing, really did the spade, the really hard work of writing the ordinance on the appeals board. Jeez. It just couldn't have been a better fit for the short term. Is it the long-term answer? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. If this doesn't work, we'll do an urban tree commission that's a heavier pitch on trees or whatever it takes. But at this point, I've got a great group available for appeals. Remember, I had 2 trees cut from in front of a house I own up on Church Street because they were widening the sidewalk, and all I got was a 7-day notice. 2 beautiful sweet gums that needed to come out. Okay, I mean, bottom line, it was a wrong tree, wrong place, buckling sidewalks. But I was shocked by it. I was on the city council. I had no notice but a yellow slip on a tree. I had no one to appeal to but Jan, who was very tricky to appeal to. And apparently nobody, I'm on the city council, and those trees came out 7 days later, and I'm going, how do I stop this? What's going on? And then it seems within a matter of months, out come these trees. I mean, I know there's a problem now. I'm getting it. I'm really getting it.
So we talked about going forward and what happened, and
Yeah.
hopefully build on that as
Yeah.
far as protection goes.
And I know,
future
unfortunately,
issues.
we lost some trees that
Yeah.
people feel very affectionate about.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. I
Well-
was really affectionate about those sweet gums too. I've been there. I know how sad.
Let me
this
ask you, because you're saying the people that were really opposed to these trees prior to being cut down where were they, you said?
Yeah.
But you just said that for you as a sitting councilor, you didn't even have the opportunity when they came. They gave you 7 days.
No.
You couldn't appeal. So how were they supposed to impact that?
They couldn't.
If you couldn't
They
even.
couldn't.
Right. So what they did was they called and lobbied various different people. I don't know if they called you. You said they
No.
didn't. But then they picketed, right? They
Yeah,
made
it's
quite a
nice.
stink about it. There was a
Yeah.
lot of media about it, and you were the downtown councilor at the time.
Yeah.
Why didn't you
There
stop
was
it?
no way for me. Remember, I'm a city councilor.
Right.
There's nothing I can do. What, I interject myself one way or the other in that? It does no good at all. What I was able to do was change the law. I could have thrown myself in front of the trees and all that stuff.
You could have
I'm
spoke out
not a-
publicly
look, no,
against cutting them
crap.
down. You
That's
had
nonsense. We're going to stop this once and for all. You know what I also had was credibility with other councilors enough to get that damn thing through unanimously.
the-
It actually became the law that kind of thing won't happen again under the same circumstance, and they'd have somewhere to go other than on a picket line.
I'll tell you what the people were doing at the time. They were writing a scenario of a bank manager who happened to be president of the Chamber of Commerce at the time, hiring a guy with a chainsaw.
Yeah, and what a great story! What a great
story
narrative!
that is. Let's cover
It's
that
a
one.
great narrative. It is not a solution. I'm a solution guy. I'm not a,
And sometimes all you can do is dress up the process so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, that's how I felt. And I thought I was doing the right thing, doing it the way I did, because it can't happen again now. Well, for some people who have a political axe to grind, that is not the solution. That's fine. I'll live.
Let me give you a little-
But I'll tell you what, my opponent didn't do squat. Those trees are gone. I did, and they won't be gone. That thing won't happen again, ever. Ever, the way it happened that time.
Even though she's presumably the downtown advocate.
Yeah, that's a debatable.
well, you, okay. As far as the tree thing, we can.
I am
move
proud of what I
on to
did. I'm proud of the way I handled it. I got it done. I did it in a way that, trust me, with the makeup of the city council, remember what I'm dealing with here. The makeup of the city council, the attitude
Right.
of a whole bunch of folks involved here, I changed that and actually moved them on a tree ordinance. I mean, I've watched people try to do tree ordinances from Mike Swaim on and got nothing. I got one through. I actually got one through. I'm part of our trees here in town.
Part of our
Boy, you'd think these alleged advocates of trees would be thrilled.
I remember a debate, a
I'm
discussion.
a murderer, according to one of those yahoos.
Well, there.
God,
The
Tree murder.
a tree murderer.
The,
What a
the critique
goofball.
is at the time that you didn't,
Oh,
you know.
they don't know how this works.
Well, let me finish the critique first before you critique the
Oh,
critique.
I've heard it all.
Um, I've seen email, from the president of U.S. Bank, saying that he talked to you. You said it was a done deal in the email.
It was.
You said you didn't want to talk,
I said it was
in the email with
a
him.
done deal.
And so that's where the accusations were that you
Oh,
were
I know.
just allowing it to happen, even
No.
promising him that it could happen.
No,
Sounds
no,
like
I
you're
said it
wrong.
was a done deal. That's exactly what I said. Looks to me like a done deal. It'll never be a done deal again, will it? Ever. There was nothing could be done at that point that was gonna block that from happening under the current law. Let's quit, and I know how much people wanna relitigate this and blame somebody. I ain't the guy to blame.
Well, you were the counselor for
I-
the board. So
I
who
know.
else is responsible?
Maybe you are responsible for not having stepped up in the past and said there's a problem here. I mean, citizens either have responsibility here or not. I didn't know this was gonna be the situation down here. Why would I know these trees are gonna be coming down under?
It was a multi-year process. The ones came out on commercial 2 years
Well,
prior.
and I
to
didn't hear a
these.
damn thing about that one.
Well, that's when the original
I
promise.
never
was
heard, but I
made
never
to
heard a
him.
word about those trees coming out.
What did the bank say about why they wanted them out? I don't remember.
They
that.
said
It was
multiple things.
slippery, yeah, it was a whole bunch of stuff. And
I mean,
I don't
they
know
were
if any
very
of them
murky
would
at
have
the
survived.
time.
They may have survived a tree commission review or a Parks Board review. I don't know. I have no idea whether they
That's
had.
just a.
Yeah,
basic
it was
question.
how do you
I
fix
don't-
the problem? I'm not I did not show up down here and chain myself or carry a picket sign. Nope, didn't agree with that. I didn't think that was the approach I should take. I thought I ought to solve the problem. Others carry picket signs, I've solved problems.
Okay, moving on to, unless there's any more tree issues.
Well, there won't be.